If you've noticed that your baby doesn't seem to crawl, or your baby wants to skip crawling and shuffles around on their bottom, and you're wondering if that's going to impact negatively their fine motor skills and gross motor skills, then you're in the right place watching the right video. This is not a new debate. This is an old debate that was reignited when in 2022 the CDC and the American Academy of Pediatrics got together and removed crawling from the milestone list of checklists. So, of course, you have two sides to this argument. There's one side, A, that says not to worry, and experts and researchers say skipping crawling is developmentally normal. As a matter of fact, about 4 to 15% of babies crawl or move in an alternative way where they pull to stand. Some babies might roll, some babies might do a bum shuffle, and that's their way of getting around. And there's no consistent link between that and any kind of delays. In addition, the back to sleep campaign does not prevent your baby from crawling. You want to continue to have your baby sleeping on their backs for safety to reduce SIDS, but also play when they're awake. That is a crucial milestone, and you want to have your baby crawling. The defining terms: crawling is when your baby's moving around on their tummy, versus creeping where baby's up on their hands and knees, but those terms can be used interchangeably. Now, here's the thing. This is some of the fundamental skills that your baby will build with crawling. You build core, hip, and shoulder strength and stability. You also position baby to be able to work on those fine motor skills, which will show up later on in life. The foundations, the things that you're working on, like I said, are core, shoulder, and hip stability. You also changing the wiring of your baby's brain. You work on bilateral coordination by having your baby crawling on their hands and knees, crossing midline, and using the corpus callosum. All of these parts of your brain are very important and get a good workout during crawling. You also improve something called proprioception, which is baby's body awareness, visual processing, and depth perception, and also tactile input through their hands, where baby is able to continue to evolve and get that sensation through their hands. So, what's the solution to this debate? Both sides seem to be right in terms of if a baby is developing normally, then that baby can skip crawling as long as the baby is moving around, as long as baby is moving within the first 12 months and baby can actually get from point A to point B. But also, the therapist, the gold standard of crawling on hands and knees, also have a valid point in that hands and knees crawling is one of the most efficient developmental ways to help your baby to improve their overall gross motor skills and enhance their fine motor skills. And it also does a lot of behind the scenes work in terms of developing your baby's brain. So skipping crawling isn't a catastrophe, but encouraging it is an incredible opportunity. Couple of red flags of when you should be concerned: if your baby is not crawling or using any form of movement, such as rolling. Have a crawl friendly world, lots of tummy time, open spaces, things that motivate baby, show baby how to move on hands and knees, and limit the use of baby containers. Things like Dumbo seats. Like I said, maximize tummy time, create open spaces, use lots of motivation, show baby how to get down on hands and knees and how to crawl, and limit containers. Minimize the time in any devices that restricts movement. I'm talking about things like swings, saucers. Research shows that baby walkers can actually delay crawling. So the end goal for this bit of this podcast should be joyful movement. Every baby's journey is unique, and the aim is not to check a box, but to foster a love of moving. It's never too late to go back and work on some of those crawling skills. I love using a crawling tunnel